What's going on to all of the CloverTac crew and the Ghost Squad? Welcome to flight number 15 of the Ghost and Clover Podcast. I am Trey with Ghost Tactical. I will be your pilot for tonight's flight. We'll bring in our co-pilot, Chris from CloverTac, here in a minute. But before we do, we want to say hello to everyone out there live. Remember, if you are joining us live, go ahead and say something in the chat. Not only do we not know that you're out there unless you do say something, more importantly, the third segment is our random topic viewer driven segment. So you guys will be eligible to be chosen to pick that third topic just by saying something. It doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter. Say anything. Tell us we sound like crap, or Clover has a great beard. All sorts of great stuff. Anything you want to say, it's out there. This flight is powered and brought to you by our good friends, as always, over at EAA Corp, European American Armory. We'll talk a little bit about more of them here in a second. Once again, thank you guys for watching and replay, listening in podcast form. If you're out there and you're watching replay or listening in podcast form, we welcome you to join the live chat. It's a great chat. It's very entertaining. Plus, you get the chance to tell us what to talk about. If you guys are new to this podcast, obviously you don't know what's going to happen. People that are know this is. We have three segments. The first two segments, like tonight, Clover will have the first segment. I'll have a topic, the second segment. And we don't know what either of those topics are. We don't know until they mention what the topic is. And then obviously the third segment is the viewer topic segment. We are streaming live on YouTube to over 150 countries worldwide. 150 countries worldwide. We are also part of the Self-Defense Radio Network and the Firearms Radio Network. So go check out all of your pro gun, pro toy podcasts over at Self-Defense Radio Network and the Firearms Radio Network. Let's bring in we'll call him Shirley, going for the airplane mode. He says it's a good day. So is it a good day, Fez?
Not really. So
no,
I said good day.
I said good day. I said good day.
It's a good day. It's a good day.
You guys might understand that 70 show, if you guys are fans of that, which I'm a huge fan of.
I was gonna put there is certainly no candy in the garage, but I was afraid it wouldn't fit. So
yeah,
I had to come up with something else.
Have you watched was it I think the reboot is, what is it, that 90s show or something?
Yeah, that 90s show. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I heard it's decent, but I haven't watched it yet. I need to.
So if you're a fan of that 70s show, which I mean, if that 70s show in our house still rotates on a replay and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if you've watched as much as we have and can quote and do other things, that 90s show is not bad.
Okay.
And one of the reasons it's not bad, one of my favorite, I mean, I get the ensemble cast with the kids.
Yeah.
But Red and Kitty are freaking hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Well, Kitty was always, Red is Red. Great. But Kitty, in my opinion, in that 70s show was always, I thought, underappreciated because she brought so much comedy to that show just by her being just Kitty, Yep. She was great, and I don't think she ever got. I mean, she was obviously beloved, but I don't think she got the credit that she probably should have for being her. Great role.
Right. A lot of people are worried because they're like, well, other than some cameos or something here and there, it's an all new cast with the kids. And I'm like, but Red and Kitty can carry it. Kurtwood Smith,
they can.
Deborah Joe Rupp. I'm like, they could carry it, and I think that they did, in my opinion, anyway.
So I remember, before we get to the first, we'll get to the first topic here in a second with Clover. Clover's going to have the first one tonight. You bring up Kurtwood Smith, and I remember watching. I don't think I watched the original, like the pilot when it first came on. I probably started watching that 70s show midway through the first season. I didn't hear much about it, and I didn't really care. And then I heard it was pretty good, so I started watching it back in the day. The first episode that I watched, I see Kurtwood Smith, and my first reaction was, "Hey, that was a bad guy from RoboCop." So
Yeah.
that was where
Big
my
jump,
mind went.
right?
Kurtwood Smith was like, the bad guy
Yeah.
from RoboCop's the dad. You
It's
know?
bad in the ensemble comedy. Yeah, like
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, interesting.
but
Okay.
he was perfect. I mean, he's the
Hmm.
perfect Red. I mean, he really
He
is.
was perfect. No, he was
You
a
know.
perfect cast. But I was like, the bad guy from RoboCop's the dad. Okay.
Right. This is interesting.
All right. So let's jump right in tonight's first topic. What you got for us, man?
Let's talk musicals, man.
Musicals. I like it. Now, are we talking like
So
musical movies or Broadways or everything?
I'm talking about basically movies. Yeah,
Okay.
and we
Okay.
know that a lot of
And most of them
Broadway
were
has been
adaptations
adapted.
of Broadway
Yeah,
anyway. So yeah.
yeah, a lot of them have been adapted, but and when I say musical, I'm saying there's some that I think could be considered musicals.
Okay.
That maybe some people would not consider musicals, and by that I mean, we're talking movies that have not a lot of music, like Guardians of the Galaxy. We've talked about that. Most amazing
Yeah.
soundtracks, probably of any movies out there.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not talking about
one of them. Yeah.
soundtracks. I'm talking about the cast sing
Singing.
something.
Yeah.
It's original. It's original songs. We're not
Yeah.
talking about Glee here, right? Where they cover
Right.
things all the time. We're talking about original songs sung by the cast members during the course of the movie. It's relevant to the plot. Blah blah blah. Um, and man, it's been a thing for a long time. And there's some, I think some that we may bring up and we may talk about. A lot of people uh, may turn up their nose and go, "Ah, musicals." But then when you get to thinking
No,
about it,
there's some great ones out there.
wow, okay, there's some pretty good stuff that could be considered musicals. So
Now,
uh,
G Web says musicals are the 9mm of movies.
probably I can't disagree with that wholeheartedly. So first of all, let's go through and just kind of give a top five, and then we can talk about other ones we missed
Oh
out of the
wow.
top five. We can consider the chat, but not really top five. But we'll go back and forth and just kind of throw five out there
Yeah.
if you want to run
Okay.
that route.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, I'm gonna start off with and I'll start it off just to give you an extra second here, but
Okay.
my favorite, and I've said this over and over and over and over again for many years, is Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Um,
Okay.
it's an old one. I don't know how old, but it's definitely an old one.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's basically seven brothers that live up in the mountains, and the eldest brother, kind of takes care of everybody. He goes down into town and meets a lady down
Yeah.
there. She's wanting to get out of town, and so they get married. And then the other brothers are like, basically, they want a wife, right? And so
Sure.
they go down in town and more or less kidnap wives.
Well, I mean, you
But
got to do what you got to do sometimes, you
yeah,
know.
and it's set back in like the Wild West, the Oregon Trail days, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So contextual, but um, yeah, it's interesting the things that happen. They basically kidnap them, and then they get trapped. They can't get rescued for months and months and months on end, and the stories can ensue from there. And it's I don't know, it's interesting. So that
Huh.
would be, we'll throw that out just simply because that's my favorite. So if anybody has not watched that one,
Okay.
I encourage you to do that.
My number one pick will be Sound of Music.
Oh yeah,
I'm a huge Sound of Music fan. I think it is one of the I think it's the best musical ever. I mean, obviously there are people that will argue that, but it is definitely, that is one of the very few musicals that every time I see it on, I'm going to watch whatever's left of it. So I'm a huge Sound of Music fan. So I'm going to
yeah,
go Sound of Music with my first pick.
yeah. First 30 minutes or so aside, right?
I mean, yeah, but once it kicks in, like once Julie Andrews shows up, it's pretty remarkable. And not only is
Right,
she great, but Christopher Plummer's great. I mean,
right.
one of my favorite songs in the movie ever is Christopher Plummer singing Edelweiss, and that's it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful song. So
Oh yeah, yeah, without a doubt.
yeah, big fan of Sound of Music for sure.
I'm gonna go Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, man.
That's
Gene
fair.
Wilder. Come on, Gene
Gene
Wilder.
Wilder,
Like,
absolutely. Yeah,
wonderful. And if you haven't watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory out there, shame on you.
right.
And speaking of that, might end up being our Christmas movie this year. There's a movie coming out called Wonka.
I saw
I don't
that. Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if that's going to be musically based or not. Don't waste your time with the Johnny Depp version. I don't think, but it's the story of how he became Wonka, basically. I think, and
Yeah,
that could
that
be an
could be
interesting
interesting.
one. So yeah.
Yeah, my number two is probably Grease. I'm a big Grease fan.
Valid.
I
Now,
love
where you stand
Grease.
on Grease 2?
Grease 2, I'm actually a pretty big fan of Grease 2 for one
Really?
simple
Okay.
reason. Michelle Pfeiffer. That was the first time I was a kid, and I remember seeing Michelle Pfeiffer as a young
Right.
boy, and that kind of changed me for a little bit. I was like, "Oh, who's that?"
Right. Right.
Um, I think that the movie is trash, but Michelle Pfeiffer, yeah, I'm in.
Makes it. Yeah. Makes it. Yeah.
Yeah, for me it
Okay.
does.
Okay. Yeah. Third one here. Halloween's coming up, man. Rocky Horror
No,
Picture Show.
you son of a motherless goat. Yeah, no.
And there's a lot of people
You
that
know,
hate
so
that.
can I? Am I
But
allowed? Am I allowed to pick ones that you pick also, or no?
well, I mean, you can, but this is
Because
not
I've
like
got
a
others. I
draft.
was going to pick that, but I will. I can. I've got others.
Yeah,
I've got others.
throw another one in because this is just we're just picking five just to kind of let people know
Yeah,
when they're out there more or
that's what I'm
less.
saying. Is
So,
I don't want to do the
um,
same ones because I want people to
yeah.
maybe that don't know about some of these.
So
So
Rocky Horror Picture Show is weird. Don't get me
it's
wrong.
a great. That was gonna be my number three.
And
But, I
and
agree
I'm gonna
with you.
tell you what, you watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, and you're walking around in Walmart singing "Sweet Transvestite," um, people tend to look at you funny.
A little
They're like,
bit,
"What
a
in the
little bit.
world? What in the
If
world
you
he
have
saying?" He said
never,
he was.
if you've never experienced going to a theater during a Rocky
This
Horror
is
Picture
true.
Show,
This is true.
they have used them in Dallas at least 3 or 4 times a year, and I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
it's still everywhere, but they
there's
act it out. They
somewhere.
had people dressed up,
Oh, there
and
will
it's
be
wonderful.
on Halloween night. There will definitely be a showing of Rocky Horror somewhere,
Yeah,
and the vast majority of people in there will be dressed up, and it's pretty
and they
awesome. I
act
mean,
out the movie. You don't even have to actually watch the movie. It's a whole show within itself. It's pretty amazing, really
yeah,
is.
the movie's going while they act the movie out.
Yeah,
It's interesting. Yeah, and the
yeah, it
whole
is.
audience is dressed up, so it's crazy.
Yeah. So I want to my number three now will be Pink Floyd The Wall.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah,
everyone knows my feelings about Pink Floyd, and it was actually a pretty good movie. But obviously, the soundtrack and all of that was amazing. But Pink Floyd The Wall, I don't think gets enough credit because it is weird. I'm not gonna lie, it is weird. It's not as weird as like Clockwork Orange, which I will say will be an honorable mention, which could be a great musical, but it's such a weird movie. But I'm gonna go. My number three would be The Wall.
that's fair. I don't have a problem with that. Well, we got a fourth one here. Thinking off the
Fourth,
top of
yeah,
my head,
fourth pick.
what do we got? Number four. Number four. What could it be? There's so many. Which one do I want to
Yeah,
throw in there?
there's a lot of great ones.
Oh, let's go Popeye. Robin Williams, man. Right?
Oh, okay. I would have not gone down that road, but
Let's
sure,
go Popeye.
absolutely.
Let's go
Yeah.
Popeye.
All right.
If you haven't seen that one, pretty decent. Pretty decent. And I don't know that they've attempted a Popeye movie. Have they? Like
I
since
don't
that.
think they've done one since. I mean, how do honestly? How do you take Popeye to another level after Robin Williams? He was great in it. He really was. He was great.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Yeah.
My number four. My number four. It's not a musical, but it is. Okay, and you'll understand when I say this because there's a reason why I would consider it a musical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with The Doors simply because
Okay.
Val Kilmer sang those songs. Those were not tracked songs in the movie. He actually learned how to sing like Jim Morrison. and all of the music, all of the voice in The Doors, the movie, was Val Kilmer singing as Jim Morrison. So that puts me to say they're not lip syncing Jim Morrison. He was singing in all of those recording and all of that. So it's a great movie. My second favorite Val Kilmer movie of all time behind Tombstone. I'm going to say The Doors, and I know people say that it's not a musical, but I think it is. I think it is. I'm going to go to Doors. Are you okay with The Doors being considered a musical?
Yeah, I mean, I'll allow it. I did say that it needs to be original music or whatever.
Yeah, but I will say this: they're not. Val Kilmer was actually singing.
I get it. Movie. I get it, but it's Doors music that was
okay. I'll take them off. So Bohemian Rhapsody's out then too.
That would be out too. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go number
Saturday
4.
Saturday Night Fever or Staying
Alive or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Singing. That's fair. Number 4, then I will put Clockwork Orange in there. I will put a Clockwork Orange as number 4.
That's valid.
I know it's a weird movie, but I love Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, it's not like you can't throw another one in there. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know. So we're on to number 5. I'm gonna go Sweeney Todd, man. Dark, but I was railing on Johnny Depp earlier for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but Sweeney Todd, pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
A homicidal barber, if you're not familiar with Sweeney Todd, basically.
I actually have. I was going to say, because I've never heard of it.
Oh yeah. It's pretty dark, but it's pretty good.
I got a question for you, because I don't know if this one was going to count or not. Because I have a backup for it. Does Top Secret count? Would you consider Top Secret as a musical?
That's a good one.
It's a more of a comedy that has singing, but it's not a musical. I'll put that as an honorable mention, because that's kind of in the gray area. So I'll put that as an honorable mention. My number 5 will be, and people are going to make fun of me, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's my number 5. It's just the one I can think of is Pitch Perfect, the original Pitch Perfect.
That's a lot of
musical, man.
It's a lot of cover.
It's a lot of cover, but the whole thing is about these people singing. It's not lip syncing.
I guess it is.
It's about. Okay, maybe. So
I mean, if we allow Pitch Perfect, then we got to allow Bohemian Rhapsody and The Doors in there too, because I mean.
Okay. Well.
We can add a bunch more, because I was thinking of the cartoon Sing, but then it dawns on me that I don't know that there's any original tunes in that. So,
Okay. How about
they're worth bringing up?
How about Hairspray? Hairspray the movie.
Now the original or the new one?
No, the original with John Travolta back in, what was that, the 90s or whatever?
No, the original was not John.
No, the original was on Broadway. I don't know if it was a movie back in the day.
The original had Ricky Lake. The original did not have John Travolta.
I thought John Travolta was in Hairspray, wasn't it?
The new
No, he was in another movie. Oh yeah, no.
John Travolta as the mom.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm talking the ones like back in the 90s.
That was Ricky Lake, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Before she got her.
The only reason why I thought that is I knew that was a Broadway. I knew that was a Broadway movie. I don't really care for that one, but I knew it was a Broadway, and I knew it would fit into that.
That was okay, I think. And it's
now, would School of Rock consider a musical?
No, because it's too much.
No, okay.
Too much cover. I think.
Okay. No, I get that. What about A Hard Day's Night? It's a Beatles movie, but it was them singing their own songs. It's not a cover.
That's what I'm saying, though.
I mean, they're not covering. They're singing their songs. It's a movie with music in it.
Based around, yeah.
I'm just trying to throw it because you're making too many damn rules for this thing.
I know, but at the end of the day, it's just to get some things out there.
That's exactly. That's why I keep throwing movies out there.
I mean, go watch all the stuff we've talked about.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. They sang in that movie.
Oh, they did, and it was some good. Yeah, It was horrible singing, but
I'm not saying it was
yeah,
good.
it was pretty good. It was a pretty good soundtrack.
Oh, G23 says, what about Mamma Mia? That's true, but that wouldn't count according to Clover's rules because that's all ABBA covers. So,
Yeah, and then
and Rod out there says Rocky Horror Picture. That was very easily one of our top picks. Oh, Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Chase brings up Labyrinth and Little Shop of Horrors. Great ones.
Well, yeah, I was fixing to mention Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, Steve Martin and who am I thinking?
Rick
Moranis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Labyrinth was good with David Bowie.
Yeah, pretty much every Disney movie, right?
Well, I mean, I think that honestly, yes, I honestly think that Disney movies are their own little category. Are they musicals? Yeah, but I think when you say Disney movies, everyone knows what that is. I would put, okay, real quick, your favorite Disney movie, real quick on the top of your head, first thing that comes to your mind.
I've all but forgotten about Disney. So like,
okay,
Aladdin.
Mine's definitely Lion King. I'm a huge Lion King fan.
Lion King's good. I'm a I would say Aladdin. I would have to say Aladdin. Robin Williams, Genie, Aladdin. Like none of the follow-up crap at all.
Yeah.
But my God, like because of Robin Williams, no other.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Aladdin, like holy crap, he just amazing.
Now Chase out there, and he's saying, my wife, the theater and literature teacher, says a musical is defined as a production that part of the storyline is revealed through music. I agree with that. Now, once again, this is Clover's topic, so he has the freedom to create whatever rules, even though they might be unrealistic rules. They are his rules for this segment. So,
but if they're regurgitating, popular music, then is that?
It's a musical.
Are you actually telling a story? I don't know. But yeah, either way. I mean, there's some good stuff. La Bamba comes up, right? La Bamba's freaking amazing.
But that wouldn't be a musical because that's a cover, according to you.
But that would, I know. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking anything because of it. It's like I just don't know that it fits into the criteria that I'm looking for.
Well, like I said, this is your topic.
Because I want to give people, oh man, I just thought of a Disney, and I was thinking animated with Disney. I wasn't thinking live action, but holy crap, Mary Poppins, right? Like, how can you?
Oh, Mary Poppins is a great one.
Oh my gosh!
Once again, basically anything with Julie Andrews, you could really put in there. Let's be honest.
But I wanted to, and there's a reason that I was kind of coming up with some weird rules, and I didn't want to get into things that had mainstream, music that are bands and artists that everybody knows. Is because you've got a lot of people already know about that stuff, and again, it's about exposure to us mentioning something that somebody goes, oh snap, I run across that on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or Max or whatever. And maybe they watch it next weekend or something.
Sure.
That type of
Absolutely.
thing. So, that was more my thing. Purple Rain comes to mind, right? Like thinking of stuff that don't count, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Purple Rain was a great one.
There's a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Oh my God, how did I forget about that?
That was a classic. I did forget about that one as well.
God.
Yeah, that was a great one.
If you haven't seen that one, ladies and gentlemen, please do yourself a favor.
9 to 5. Would that can be considered a movie, a musical with Dolly Parton and all them?
Did they sing much other than the main title?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if I ever saw that movie. I was a young man, a young boy, and I had not come to terms of what I was watching when I saw Dolly Parton because I was so young. I didn't understand why I needed to care at that point.
Right? Yeah, no kidding. We mentioned Rocky Horror earlier with Halloween coming up. Another good
Blazing
one.
Saddles.
Oh yes, that
has to be considered. It. Oh man, good call, Rod.
Blazing, yeah. But anyway, one that goes along with Halloween as well as Christmas is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas, absolutely. Yep, that's a great one.
Is a solid one. So keep that in mind.
Speaking of
I've
the
never. Now
nightmare,
you've seen A Star Is Born. I
I
have
have.
not.
I've seen
Even though
both of them, the original
even though
and the second one.
even though I'm a big Lady Gaga fan, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's better than I thought. I'm not gonna lie.
Where
I
does that fall in the musical? Would you say?
to me it doesn't.
Okay,
It doesn't. It doesn't.
okay,
Was it? It was better than I thought, but understand that my expectations were very very low. It wasn't bad, and there's a couple. I mean, there's a song that I will say this about A Star Is Born is I from that movie I did start having an appreciation of Lady Gaga. She can sing. And so I'll say that that was a big thing for me is for the first time I actually was like, okay, yep, I'll give her a chance because she can really sing. But the movie was terrible. The movie was
yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Speaking
Agreed.
of Nightmare Before Christmas, this this episode is brought to you by our good friends at European American Army, EAA Corp, where you guys know that they've had a big, big, big year, and there's getting ready some stuff coming down the pipe here in the next few weeks that you guys are really, really going to enjoy. Obviously, the MC14T was released earlier this year at NRA. You've got the Witness 2311 coming down the road. The P35 High Point's been coming out in the last year. And like I said, stand by the next 3 weeks from now. Something will be coming down the line. Clove, I know that you are a huge fan of EAA.
Huge, huge. They're great
Huge,
people. Wonderful,
huge.
fantastic, fantastic, wonderful, huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we both have something that we can't talk about for another
This is
week
true.
or two.
2 weeks, I believe. Yeah.
And man, I'm chomping at the bits. Yeah, basically 2 weeks. But I did get an optic for mine today. So slap on the knee. Yay, or today, few days ago actually. So my first foray into I guess basically what you'd call carry optics, right? So
Yeah.
that's going to be super fun playing around with that and getting some content out on that in the next couple of weeks, or getting it ready to release in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, you guys are going to be impressed with that, even though we can't talk about it. it's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. Which
October
sort of sucks.
2nd, I believe. I believe it's October 2nd. You'll start seeing some stuff come out
Yeah.
October 2nd, I believe, is the release date.
Now we talked about this privately, but what sort of sucks about this, the ones we have now, is we just got a hold of, for extended
Yeah.
play anyway, the MC14T.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, this MC14T is freaking awesome. And then, like, I'm not tired of the MC14T yet. I know Chase is out there with the EAA, so I'm just
Right.
letting him know.
Yeah.
I'd have to slow down the releases there, brother. Give people time to get tired of something before you make something else awesome. Because
Exactly.
like I'm seriously, I'm not done playing with the MC14T. That thing's I actually we talked about that privately too. I actually considered carrying the MC14T to Kansas to TurkCon this
Yeah.
coming weekend. I don't
That
think
would
I'm
not
going
be
to.
that would not be a bad choice. You have
I
a holster?
No, I don't, and that's why I said I tried it in a belly band and an ankle holster
Yeah.
I've got and some stuff.
Maybe a
And
universal holster just for the weekend, maybe?
yeah, I'm not going to. I'm just going to go with my dress and other things that I'm going to have for that weekend. I'm just going to go back, not dressed, but the way I'm dressed. I will. I'm going to be better with that Glock 42, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Case,
Omar's fault.
it
Always
is all
blame
Omar's fault for sure.
fault. Yeah, always
Now,
blame Omar.
Scott said he's looking for a
OG.
2311. Stand by for the standby because the Witness 2311 will be coming sooner than we think. Now that, yeah, our wonderful government and bureaucracy, not just ATF, but we're talking different bureaucratic
State, too.
organizations within Department of State and all of that. We're involved in a lot of the importation of different things. So it's not EAA's fault on this one.
I can promise you it's not.
Yeah.
They're so frustrated.
It would have been out a long time ago. Had it been,
What, months? I'm sure.
months,
3 months,
months,
4 months, probably.
Oh,
by
at
now.
least. Yeah. At least.
ago.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, And that's the sad thing is companies like EAA take a lot of heat when things don't come out, and I get why, because you do have some companies out there that promise things and get pre-orders and everything else, and they don't ever do anything. But usually
Yeah,
those are smaller startup companies. When you've got a big company that's been around and it's established as European American Armory is, when they don't get anything, when they show things at SHOT Show and show things at NRA, and then those things, aren't out in the next month or two,
it's
it's
not their
not
fault.
their fault. Something else is going on. They're not dragging their feet on it.
They
They're
would
too
not.
big
They
of a
would not.
company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they well, and one more importantly, they would not unveil something to the public that they weren't ready to go with if it wasn't, up to the bureaucrats.
Yeah, and we know that for a
Um,
fact because
yeah,
we got to see the MC-14T at SHOT Show.
we
And they
did
actually didn't publicly announce that until we were
until
one of the
April.
very first people to ever see it. And the public knew zero about that until
Yeah,
NRA, basically.
yeah,
So, um, and why was that? Because they hadn't worked out all the kinks at SHOT Show yet. So,
right.
kudos to EAA for that. And really, the only
Absolutely.
reason it come out at NRA, if you remember, is it was all Omar's fault.
Omar
So
released it too early. Yep,
yeah, it was all Omar's
that's
fault.
why we
So
blame Omar because it literally was his fault.
he gets the award, I think, every month for worst employee at EAA. I think Omar does. I don't know that for sure, but I think he holds the record for sure.
I think he probably holds the record. I would say that a year from now, that record might be given to Sam, just because he's a new guy. So the new guy always gets blamed for everything.
True, this is
Um,
true.
but the great thing about that is we're gonna see Sam and Omar at Shop next year or this year.
Should be able to. That'll be fun.
So that'll be interesting. We're gonna have to mess with Omar a little bit. But yeah.
And now you're up, man. But before we do that, if you're out
Yep.
there and you're making a comment, first of all, keep in mind that you will have a chance to be chosen to pick our last topic of the evening. Brought to you by Taurus, and we'll talk about them at that juncture. But so make sure you stick around, and if we pull your name for that, promptly give us a topic. And if you're in replay, I don't know that we've said this, but you can always participate in the conversation. Throw some musicals out there, whatever, down in the comments below. So you're on deck, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, real quick before we move on to mine, Abby says PETA hates the ATF. They don't want competition. That PETA ATF because PETA doesn't like the ATF because the ATF will shoot your dog. So it is what it is. There's my little blast right there. We're gonna talk food,
Oh, wait,
but
first,
and,
mandatory carry.
I didn't see that.
Away.
Mandatory carry, $6 super chat. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says hashtag keep fighting. Always, always, always. We're gonna talk food, but what we're gonna talk about is like go to. Like if you okay, so let's say you were in the hospital or you were in jail, something that would not have for an extended amount of time, like you were in a coma.
Took a wrong
I,
turn.
I know, I know, I know it's kind of going dark, right? Let's say you're in a coma or you were in jail,
God.
something that won't,
You're in the early grave.
but something that won't allow but something that won't allow you to have like go to restaurants and all that. You're secluded from the world for a while, but you get out of that coma, you're allowed to leave the hospital or you get out of jail or whatever. Like, what's the go-to? Like, what kind of food? Like Mexican, Italian, steak. Like, what's your go-to favorite? Like, if you could have your last meal, like, okay, that's a big good one. If you had to pick your last meal, what would it be?
Then you're talking about it being one genre or one
No,
category.
we'll do genre here in a second, but this real quick, what would be like you could have whatever you wanted? What would your last meal be?
Man, that's tough.
I know, right?
Somebody once said the all you can eat buffet at Golden Corral because it'd never end, and I would live forever. But um, man, last meal. Hmm, that's a good one. Um,
I only ask the hard questions.
I
So
know it's Gonna be something Mexican food.
I
I
tell
would
you what, I'm
almost
going to give you. I'm going to give you a few minutes
that's
to think about it. I'll go ahead and go through mine. How about that? While you
well,
take
I
some time to
mean,
think about
if
it.
it was my last meal, it'd probably be a combination of a bunch of things, and that's why I
Yeah,
asked. Are we talking
sure.
one
Yeah, yeah. No, no,
category, or are we
no.
talking
Nothing
whatever? Yeah.
specific category. Just well, like Oh, I mean, I was gonna say, like, what's your favorite like Mexican dish? Your favorite Italian? All that stuff. So as I said, your last meal, you could have whatever you wanted. Yeah, it's gonna be a cornucopia of it, all sorts of stuff.
Right. Probably some tacos, probably a steak,
Yeah.
taters and gravy, some good
Now, let me
bread of
ask
some
you
kind.
this: how would you have your steak cooked
Oh, it'd be medium
now?
for sure. Medium.
Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so you've come a long way in the last 6, 7 years, my man.
6, 7, more like 2. But I hear
Well,
you.
I was trying to give you a little bit of credit, but yeah, he used to basically his steaks were beef jerky when he got done with them. So yeah. Anyway, so steak, some tacos.
Yeah, probably not any Italian in there that I can think of off the top of my head. To be quite honest with you,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe
Mine is
maybe some
obviously gonna.
maybe some maybe some chicken fried rice, right? Maybe.
Very good, very good. Mine's probably gonna start with. I mean, if it's my last meal, I'm gonna go with a Wagyu steak. A little $40 an ounce steak. So if I can get like a $400 steak on the if it's my last meal, who cares, right? I'm probably going to go with either some taco rice or some tonkatsu, which is kind of a deep fried pork. It's a Japanese dish, fantastic. I'm probably going to go with a little bit. I know it sounds crazy and it sounds so stupid, but a hash brown casserole. Probably going to go with a little hash brown casserole. Probably if I could get it from Cracker Barrel, I would. Some cream corn and probably some tortellini. I'm a big fan of tortellini, but I take my steak medium rare. So someone was asking out there, but no, I love all of those things, and if I could have a last meal, I'd eat all of it. Because who cares if you eat too much, right? It's your last
Yeah,
meal.
yeah. Now Chase out there is offering to read the menu for me if I want
Yes.
to get Italian, so I appreciate that, Chase. That has
And
happened
that
before. That
has
is a true
happened
story.
before. Yes, that
Yeah,
happened at Talladega. And then it also, I was at somewhere where you got maybe
happened in
last year's NRA, maybe.
happened
I
in
can't
Houston, and
remember.
that was some delicious stuff. I thank Chase for that because I don't
Yeah.
know what I would have even tried to eat there had he not translated it for me into like
Well,
what
I'll
it
tell you
actually
what,
was, and it was good food. The little
the
rat
restaurant,
turds were
the
even good.
restaurant that we're going to be going to in Wichita is a French bistro. And there'll be some stuff that we'll have to explain to you. I have called ahead, Clover, and asked for a kids menu with pictures. So I don't know if they're going to have one, but they're going to be trying to get one put together for you
Well,
in
didn't we look
Wichita.
that up? And they have a banging kids menu, don't they? Like,
They do, but they also have a bunch of like steaks and all that. But it's I don't want you to go get chicken nuggets and all of that at a French bistro. I
and
want you
chicken
to
nuggets and
expand it.
macaroni. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
you know. But we're gonna go to a French restaurant. It's gonna be really, really good. But oh, speaking of food, we'll go into a different thing here. But something happened over the weekend. Clover obviously knows, and Chase knows, and Ginger knows. Something happened that I've been trying to do for 3 years now. So if you're not aware of this, every year we go to SHOT and we always have a dinner. But the last couple of years, I've been trying to get into Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay restaurant there in Vegas. And every time that I go, like in October, literally, when I try to go get reservations, everything's booked. So my wife and I were kind of on a date night at an Italian place a few nights ago. And I said, let's just check. And so I checked the thing. And literally the only day that had a reservation available the entire week of SHOT was Sunday night. And so I booked it. I was able to get a reservation for 4 of us to go to Hell's Kitchen in Vegas, Sunday of SHOT. Been trying for 3 years, finally get into Hell's Kitchen. And, we're not sure if Clover's going to show up or not. I don't know if that's something he's, but anyways, we're going to be going to Hell's Kitchen Sunday night at SHOT. So that's going to be awesome. A Gordon Ramsay restaurant. It's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. So really, really, really happy about that. All right. So here's what I really want to talk about real quick. Okay. Let's do this. What is your favorite kind of food, like genre of food, whether it's Mexican or barbecue or a steakhouse type thing, or Italian or Japanese or Chinese? Like, if you had to pick like one genre of food that's your favorite, what do you think that is?
Mexican. It's Mexican.
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 I
I'm from
figured you were going to
Texas,
say
bro.
that.
I'm from
Yeah.
Texas. Yeah, even
Yep.
even over barbecue, right? Like it's
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's
no
Mexican.
doubt. So like when you go to a Mexican restaurant, what's your kind of your favorite? What's your kind of favorite dish that
Okay,
no matter where you
oh yeah,
go? I know specific restaurants you like
so
specific, but if you go to a Mexican,
yeah,
except for Tulsa, but if you go to a general Mexican
yeah.
restaurant, is there something that you're looking for? Is like, I hope they have this on the menu.
Um, yeah, tacos are the go-to, right? So take
Sure. Yeah.
tacos and put them on a shelf. And I want to talk about some banging tacos here in a second, but take tacos and put them on a shelf for a second, because usually the tacos are like an add-on. I'll say, hey, give me this, and then throw a
Throw a
taco in
couple
there,
tacos in.
or
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
absolutely.
So usually,
It's kind of like the fries of the Mexican world, is it not?
yeah,
Yeah, throw
usually
some decent fries on the side.
I'm a chicken enchilada guy.
Okay,
With
okay. Cheese
rice
sauce or
and
red sauce? White
oh yeah,
cheese sauce or red sauce?
it's gotta be queso.
Okay, so
With
you're not a
chicken.
red sauce fan of the enchilada?
Yeah, I'm not a sour cream guy, so I don't like the sour cream sauce. But that's typically what you'll see on chicken enchiladas, a sour cream
Yeah,
sauce. And
yep.
no hate if you like that, that's cool.
I'm a
Um,
I love
but
sour
I'm a
cream.
rice and beans guy too. I'm not a double rice or a double bean like some people do. Like just I
Yeah,
want the rice and the beans. Something about having all of that together. Um,
yeah,
Now that being said, I talk about the bougie taco place here.
yeah.
And man, it's making me want to go up there to eat just talking about it. But um, they do a special taco shell that is a like a puffed flour tortilla that's
Oh,
deep
okay,
fried,
interesting.
and almost like a picture picture a gordita probably from
Sure.
Taco Bell, but bougie style, right? Like actually a good thing to eat, uh, not junk like they serve. But yeah, almost like a gordita shell, and oh my god, those are absolutely freaking amazing. Um, and it's weird because those are usually different style of tacos. They have different things in them. So I asked
Yeah.
for the regular tacos, but asked that they put them in the fancy, the fancy
Yeah. No.
gordita
No.
shells,
Sure. No.
and
I get that.
they'll do that for you. They'll substitute, switch them around, which is awesome. But yeah, I want the regular taco fixings, but in that deep fried gordita
Hmm,
shell, and oh man,
interesting.
they're banging. They're so amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you can get,
For,
Mexican's cool because, right, you can look at the variety you got. You got steak,
oh yeah.
chicken, pork. Like you can go any direction with that,
Like
and you can get,
here's a great thing about Mexican food is no matter where you go, typically you can always find fajitas, right?
yeah,
And I'm a big fajita guy. Now, I would I, I really love a carne asada, but it
uh
has to
huh,
be a good because you can mess up a carne asada really quickly. So I have to kind of know going into it if their carne asada is good or not. If it's a good place that has carne asada, then I'll get that. But fajitas, you can't go wrong. Now you were talking about like the rice and beans, right?
oh yeah,
Now, what I love doing is when I get like the fajitas, it comes with the little extra plate, like with rice and beans and some lettuce and pico de gallo and guacamole and sour cream. I'm the weird one that takes a spoon and just
oh
mixes
yeah.
all of that together, and it's
Um,
wonderful.
it
I
depends.
know
Yeah,
you don't.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know you're not a big. I'm not a big tomato guy, so I'll take that usually off. I know you don't like sour cream, but the rest of it, I will just mix it all up and just go to town on it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, my wife's gotten used to it, but people will look at me funny because a lot of times when I do the chicken enchiladas, I will cut the enchiladas, right? I'll go through and cut them, and then I just mix the whole thing together,
Yep. Yep.
and I can almost eat it with a spoon, and it does not look appetizing. I'll put it to you that way when I
Yep.
do that, but it is delicious.
Yep.
But to your point, the little Mexican food, I don't want to say like it's a taco shack or a taco truck. It's more of a taco shack because it is a little building, but that's down the road here. Pretty
Do they
amazing.
do
And
street tacos or normal tacos?
they do street tacos. They
Ooh,
do
I love
some
street
Mexican
tacos.
style nachos where you can substitute
Oh
for
yeah,
French fries or tater tots, which are
sure.
amazing. A lot of good stuff there. But the street tacos, the chicken street tacos, and it comes with rice and beans. And I will spoon. I don't mix it together, but I will spoon rice and beans onto the tacos.
Oh yeah,
Um,
sure, absolutely.
and I'm a street taco. I'm a corn tortilla guy,
I'm a flour
not a
tortilla guy,
flour.
but now for regular tacos, I'm a flour tortilla. But for street tacos, yeah, the corn tortilla is great. But if I have my choice of like just tortillas that I'm going to go to the store and buy, I'm 100% a flour tortilla kind of a guy.
Well, you can do more with flour, so we certainly buy more flour tortillas for
Yeah,
here because we've talked about
you
it
make
before.
sandwiches with it. You can do
Whether
pizzas
it's a
with it. You can do
breakfast
all sorts of
pizza
stuff.
or some kind
Yeah,
of little wrap or something, you can do a lot more with the flour for sure. Um, but if we're doing tacos, we have
yeah,
taco night or hey, we're gonna eat some Mexican food tonight or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, I prefer corn for sure.
yeah.
White corn. Let me be specific with that. White corn.
Okay, yeah. I like white
Yeah,
corn. Yeah,
white
absolutely.
corn tortillas. Yeah.
Now, Marcus says you guys are always talking about eating stuff, but how many of you guys out there enjoy cooking? I cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner for my family and bake as well. I do
Don't want to
not
talk
cook
about it.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't eat breakfast and all that. I have gotten into cooking, like actually cooking, in the last few years, and really, really love cooking. I'm not any good at it.
Mhm.
You get me behind a grill or you get me cooking steaks and stuff, and I'll cook a steak with anybody around. Um,
Yeah.
but cooking, I am good at cooking if you give me like the recipe and the steps. I can do it that way. I'm not to the point yet in understanding how all of the cooking works. I watch a lot of cooking shows. I love trying. I'm just not there yet. Figuring out what goes with what and how to do all of this stuff. Now, my wife can walk into a pantry and blindfolded pick 4 random things out of the pantry, and in half an hour she's going to make something that should be on like a restaurant menu. I'm not there yet, but I love cooking. I'm just not good at it yet because I'm still learning. But you get me behind a grill or cooking a steak, now that's a whole different issue, boys and girls. We'll bring it on at that point.
I can verify that. I actually spent all day Friday baking, so I'm not immune to it. I
You
baked.
like cooking, but I think you enjoy baking more than cooking, don't you?
I probably do enjoy baking more. Yeah, I
Yeah.
baked. Well, I don't know. After Friday, whoo. So we
Well,
was at
maybe.
the. So I had a reunion Saturday. Backstory on this, and so I'm about the only one that has attempted or even gotten my grandmother's, God rest her soul, recipes right for stuff, and so I did 2 coconut pies, 2 chocolate pies, and a
Mm,
4-layer strawberry cake.
mm,
And
mm.
it about freaking killed me Friday. Now my grandmother could do 3 times that in the same amount of time. How she did it, I don't know. She was Superwoman. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Right.
She had some kind of watch like Cable or Deadpool had or something that reverses time. I don't know.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, get to the reunion or whatever, and yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, somebody said something about, oh yeah, I was talking with somebody because they were talking about how I've tweaked the recipe and I figured everything out, and they're going, oh,
Yeah.
the number one ingredient's love, and I said, no, curse words maybe. There's a lot of curse words in those pies and that cake, but
Yeah.
there ain't wasn't a whole lot of love. And I mean, I don't get me wrong, I didn't hate it,
Yeah.
but it was definitely stressful and everything. So.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Now, Screaming Skull Saloon says, I rarely eat breakfast. Don't get me wrong. I love breakfast food. I usually do not have an appetite. I'm the same way. I love breakfast food, but I enjoy breakfast food at night, especially late at night.
Yeah.
You get me to an IHOP or a Denny's or a waffle at like midnight or something like that. Man, I'm in hog heaven. I
Now,
usually don't eat because if I eat before 10 o'clock, I feel like bad the rest of the day. Now there are times where I'm gonna be busy and my wife will make me eat. Like if I'm in a tournament or something, it's gonna be really, really busy. I need energy. She'll force me to eat some a little small breakfast and all that. But I love breakfast food. I just enjoy it at night more.
Yeah, I'm more of a eating breakfast food at night too,
Yeah.
and just something
Well,
that
you don't
is
wake up
pretty
till noon, so you really can't eat
well.
breakfast.
That's not necessarily true anymore for sure. Kind of like a medium steak, but um, the something that I have done, I got an egg mold where you can fry eggs in the air
Oh
fryer.
yeah, yeah.
And one
Oh
thing
yeah,
that's really quick that I've come to like, we were talking about flour tortillas earlier, is get the small ones, the street taco size,
yep,
or whatever,
sure,
because that's about the size of the three molds, egg molds. And then
yeah,
I get some Carl Budding turkey, and it doesn't have to be that brand, right? But it's a thin
yeah.
shaved, turkey, and I'll lay like three pieces down in there, and then put a piece of cheese in there, whatever your
Uh huh.
poison is, and crack an egg in there, break the yolk, and then
Sure.
cook that in the air fryer, and then take that out and throw that on a flour tortilla, and you almost have
Ooh,
like a
that does
breakfast
sound.
pizza. Oh my
Yeah, that
God,
sounds good actually.
it's so good, dude. It is so. I
Yeah.
may eat one here in a minute. Matter of fact,
We could talk food for the next 3 hours,
we
but
can. We
unfortunately,
always talk food, but we
we
gotta move
do need to
on.
move on.
Let me get the screen up here because we're fixing to. If you haven't commented, you better hurry up and do it because there's just a few seconds left, and we're gonna draw this thing. And yeah, whoever we draw will get to give us the topic for this next segment. So
And this segment is brought to
take
you by
a,
our good friends at Taurus. At
it
Taurus, we'll
is,
talk
and
about
we
Taurus here in
will.
a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about them while we wait on the person to reply. So reply as quickly as possible. If we come up with your name, reply as quickly as possible with your topic. Here we go. Good luck to everybody.
I'm
And
a little
remember,
nervous. There's some people out there that I don't really trust.
hey,
Yeah,
and there's one of
yeah.
them, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact.
really don't trust that guy. It
Speaking of
says
people,
For those that are listening, Clover drew his own name,
I drew my
so
own name. Go figure. Yeah,
we're
it's respinning.
re-spinning the wheel. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
That's hilarious.
And it was me, so we're gonna redraw again. I don't
Let's
trust
do it
either one of those
again.
fools.
Right.
So the
And
good
if
thing
you're
is we're both out of it now. So
yeah, and if you're a replay, also remember that yeah, you can participate if you actually jump over and join us live. So
that's right.
hopefully
That's
we're
right.
out of it. I think I clicked the box that said remove.
Mike the
Mike,
Clune. Mike's out there. I haven't seen Mike say anything in a while though, but
I
maybe
haven't.
he's still listening. So we're going to give you about 30 seconds, Mike. If you're out there, go ahead and say what you want us to talk about. We'll talk about anything that won't get us kicked off YouTube. But while we're waiting on that, Clover, this segment is brought to you by our good friends at Taurus International.
All right, man. Did you see the new judge they dropped?
I
The
did.
Home
Kind of
Defender
looks
Mad Max-ish.
Mad Max meets RoboCop meets Mad Max is a good way of explaining it. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, pretty cool. A longer barreled judge, essentially.
Yeah.
I think reminds me a lot. I tell you what it reminds me of is a Thompson Contender revolver almost. It's
I will take your word on that because I have
how
no idea what that is.
kind of how it looks. We're
Hey,
past.
Mike says he won, so he is out there. So, Mike, you've got a little bit of time. Give us a topic, anything that you want to talk about that won't get us kicked off of YouTube.
Right,
We'll talk about anything.
And we've got Honest Truth out there. Become a channel member. I don't know of who because this is.
I don't know if it was me or you, but
it's on several channels. But thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
Thank
Either
you
way,
for
whether that's me or Ghost.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, Mike will give us a topic, but yeah, Taurus.
Chicago. Mike says Jack Nicholson. Does it maybe it kind of revolves you of like the old Joker, Jack Nicholson Joker gun, maybe? Because Chicago Mike says Jack can carry that appendix.
Not at all. He could, but that's a Smith & Wesson Model 15, which is a very, very traditional revolver, and the Judge obviously is not with the long cylinders and everything else. I think anyway. Mike wants to say well darn and all this other stuff. Give us a topic, Mike.
We just need a topic, man. Give us a topic to talk about. You're welcome. And yes, you're the winner, but there is a responsibility of winning, Mike. Go ahead and tell us favorite donut. Okay,
that's
here
a beautiful
we go.
topic. Mike is like my favorite commenter out there now. I don't know for some reason. I like
Winner,
him. Yeah.
winner, donut
Ooh,
dinner right there.
nice. So we got donut talk for about 10 minutes
You
here. This is gonna
got
be fun.
donut, which is about as good as it gets, isn't it?
Nice.
Now,
Why not, man?
before we
Why
get
not?
going, people know that a couple years ago in Tulsa at Wanamaker, Clover and I tried an experiment, and it is a little bit of diabetic heaven. The old Krispy Kreme glazed donut with a Wendy's chocolate frosty. That is
A
my favorite.
warm,
Now, it's
a
a
warm
warm,
Krispy Kreme.
yes. That is my favorite donut because it has to be combined with the chocolate frosty.
Oh my
But if you
gosh.
have those available to you, that is the greatest way to eat it. Any donut
So
ever, hands down.
So if you've never had fresh Krispy Kreme donuts, and pro tip,
Yeah.
if you can get there when they're just coming off the conveyor,
If the
and you
light's
stand
on, it means they're warm.
over at the window and you watch them being cooked or whatever, a lot of times they will pull one off, like off the conveyor, and hand it to you, like
Yep.
free of charge. You get a
Yep.
free donut, you ain't got to pay for it. But let me tell you something: once you bite into that, it's like eating a baby angel, and you will buy a dozen and take them home. Like there's no doubt.
Not that we're saying that we recommend you eating a
We
baby
condone
angel.
the eating. It could be
No.
worse. I could have said eating a third trimester angel, but
Oh
no,
my
baby
god.
angels. Baby angels. Yeah, there's nothing like the texture and consistency, right? I've ate no other donut, and don't get me wrong, even a bad donut's a good donut most times, but
Yeah.
I've never eaten another donut that has especially when it's fresh, like right out of the fryer, fresh glaze, that has the
Yeah.
consistency and the fluffiness or whatever, the airiness of a Krispy
Yeah.
Kreme. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I enjoy Krispy Kreme. My favorite, and I don't know if it's because it's a favorite because it's really that good or it's because we always got them for free. We had a guy that was on my baseball and basketball and all that. Growing up, we played a lot of sports together. His name was Ryan Shipley. And not that that means anything to anybody. It wasn't him. His family started Shipley Donuts. And if you're in the South, you may have heard of Shipley Donuts, but I went to school with the guy's son, Ryan. We always got free donuts all the time we ever wanted. And I love Shipley Donuts. I don't know why. Maybe it's like maybe a little more cakier. I don't know, but I'm a big fan of Shipley.
Could be, yeah.
So what's your
I've
favorite
ate them.
kind? Is
They're
it
fine.
glaze or chocolate? What's your favorite kind of
I'm an
donut?
original, man. I'm an original. I go glazed.
Okay,
Now, don't get me wrong. I'll go with a twist. I'll go with like the lemon
sure.
fields are good.
Ooh, the little fields are
Uh,
good. Yeah.
chocolate. I mean, I'll down a chocolate one. That's
Now,
fine.
are you a chocolate donut guy or a glazed donut with the chocolate
The
frosting on it?
chocolate frosting or the chocolate glaze.
That's the
Not.
way
I'm
I am
not
as
big
well.
on. I'm not big on the dense. I will say this. I'm not big
Nope.
on the dense donuts, like the cake style donuts. Like if I'm
Yeah.
gonna eat cake, I'm gonna eat cake. I want my
Yeah.
donut to be somewhat fluffy. Um, but yeah, I've had Shipley's. Most recently, we had Round Rock donuts, and those are made with fresh yard
Oh,
eggs. If you've never had a
interesting.
Round Rock
I
donut,
never have.
you're gonna have to stand in line whatever time of the day you go down there. I can promise you, you're gonna have to wait in line to get in. Be prepared for that because it's like a national treasure. But if you're ever down around the Austin area, Round Rock
Yeah.
Donuts, you're welcome. And they have one that is huge. They have one that's the size of like a record or something. Even you could get, and everybody could share it if they wanted. But those are amazing. I'll tell you two other things that are when we're
Uh,
talking about donuts that are interesting here. And I'll ask this first because more people may be familiar with this. But do
uh-huh.
you remember? I remember growing up, and I haven't seen them in many, many years or decades. Do you remember the donuts in the frozen food section?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember those being that bad. But here's the
No, no,
thing:
no.
you had to
No,
get the
I
timing
remember I remembered
perfect.
liking them. Yeah. Oh
But you
yeah,
had
yeah.
to get the
You can
timing
screw them up.
perfect in the
Yeah.
microwave.
Yeah, you
Like
could screw them up for sure.
if you went a second too long, that was a hockey puck. You just
Yeah.
screwed that thing up. You had to be perfect. The glaze would all melt off and everything if you didn't hit it just
Yeah.
right.
Now
Um,
Mike says he's never met a donut he didn't like. I have,
oh,
unfortunately. I have met a donut that I didn't like, you know.
and then the other thing, I've done that pretty regular. My mom, my grandmother's all done it. I don't know if anybody else has done it. But donuts out of canned biscuits. That's one of the easiest ways to make donuts. and they're pretty darn good. Don't get me wrong; they're not as good as going to the donut shop and getting fresh donuts that are actual yeast
Yeah.
risen donuts. But
Yeah.
you don't believe me? Get you a thing of buttermilk grands,
Oh
and
yeah.
get
Oh yeah.
you a 2 liter bottle cap or something to cut a hole out of the middle with. Deep fry those dudes up. A little bit of powdered sugar, vanilla, and vanilla extract and milk to make a
Mm,
glaze. Uh,
mhm.
and and you're welcome because they are definitely good.
Now
Poor
Chase,
man
he's
donuts.
got a point. He said Krispy Kreme fresh, not glazed donut holes. The donut holes, hot glazed donut holes from Krispy Kreme, are the best thing ever paired with ice cold chocolate
Oh
milk.
yeah, chocolate
Yes,
milk is almost a
duh.
have to
I mean, you
with
have to go
donuts.
chocolate milk if you're going
Yeah.
donuts. I mean, I'm just saying. That's why we took the step up to the chocolate frosty, because we both
Next
agree
level.
that you got to eat chocolate milk with donuts. So we took it to the next level of chocolateness. That was the frosty, and
Even
may
if
I
you get
say, it was
even
heaven.
if you get the little powdered sugar donuts, like I've got to get
Oh
chocolate
yeah,
milk with them. Like I
yep.
don't know why. It's something about donuts, but
Well, I
I have
actually
to have them.
kind of was hungry this morning, so going into work, I stopped at one of the gas stations, and they had the powdered. I said, powdered donuts. I hadn't noticed in a while, and
Could
I
they
went
be
over to
any more
the.
messy though, right?
Oh yeah, they're messy as hell, but I went over to the fridge in there, and they did not have any chocolate milk. So what did I do? I put the donuts back down. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with regular milk. I had to
Yeah.
have the chocolate milk.
No, I
So
hear
it
you.
was
Yeah, I'll
what
go
it is.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, Yamil out there says, "Stop it, guys! I took my metmorphin. I don't take mine until later on tonight, so we're good." But yeah, yeah, that's fun. Donut talk. Hell yeah, donut talk. We might have to get some donuts this week while we're in at TriggerCon. We might have to try something with everybody. Um, I'm all for taking donuts early morning. We head into TriggerCon and take them. Yeah, of
Hmm.
course. Can't go wrong with
Hmm.
that. Because here's the thing:
Yep.
even if you get them, you don't have to eat them. If you don't eat them all right then, later on that night, you can put them in the microwave for about 15, 20 seconds. They're still going to be good to go.
Usually 5 to 10. I find is about the sweet spot. It depends on the
Yeah,
microwave though.
it
That's what I
depends on the
said earlier.
microwave.
Like
Yeah.
every microwave's different. You'll screw stuff up quick if you ain't careful.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, it's probably the best to go at 5 second intervals, and then test it. Okay, 5 more seconds. Oh, there it is. Whatever that sweet spot is, for sure.
yep.
Faux show.
Yep. So thanks, Mike,
Speaking.
for that.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
it.
man. Always love me some donut talk. Oh man, yeah, yep. Yeah, we're gonna see each other here in a few days, my man.
And a
Got
lot
a
of other
big
folks too.
weekend, and a lot of other folks. Yeah, if
Chase
you're
and
out there and
John
you're
and
gonna be around Wichita, Kansas, and you guys are interested, TriggerCon is happening at this weekend. Anyone can go to it. If you're interested, go check out triggercon.com. It's TRIGGRCON.com. No E in trigger. Anyone can go. Yeah, go check it out. There could be a lot of companies there. There's going to be a lot of creators and influencers there. There's a couple of parties that are attached to it. There's a range day attached to it. It's a 2-day show, and the third day is a range day. So if you're
Range Day,
interested and you're going to be around Wichita, man, go check out triggercon.com.
Wichita. Yeah, looking forward to seeing obviously you, TJ,
Yep.
Sarge, OB, Gizzard, Snob, that I know for sure
Chase,
will
John,
be going, and then
Paul,
of course Chase and John and Paul and all the industry folks that'll be
all the
there. Yeah,
industry folks. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
it'll be fun.
Um, we're trying something different this year. We're allowing TJ to stay with us. We're a little nervous about that because
Yeah,
I think once you stay with us, he'll never want to go back and stay with Jeff at Shot again. He's going to
that's
be spoiled by not having to sleep in the murder motel. But
well. We've already
you know,
secured our shot for 2024,
this
so
is
that's
true.
out of the
We've already
question.
got
So
our yep. We've
yeah,
already
that
got our.
won't
It
happen.
sounds
We already
weird.
locked
We
it in.
haven't been able to register yet for Shot, but we've already got our travel plans done, booked,
Yeah,
paid
yeah,
for,
yep,
done.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, definitely
Uh,
looking forward to it.
hey,
Somebody had
real
asked me
quick.
about it.
Oh,
Somebody had
go
asked me
ahead.
about it yesterday, actually, about TriggerCon, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm like, this is only like the third year or something. So
Yep. Chase's Clover will be trying to crepe this weekend. Yes, he will.
I've
Hey,
had
let's
crepes, but you know,
let's take 2 minutes real quick before we get out of here. A really interesting question from Marcus. What's your favorite trigger, a 2-stage or single stage? For me, it depends on what I'm looking to do. I would say, in general, I enjoy a 2-stage trigger. For competition, I'd probably enjoy single stage for competition. But just in generalities, I don't. I like them both. Huh?
that's interesting. I'm completely opposite.
Are you really? Yeah,
Yeah,
I like a
I just
single stage for competition.
I'd rather have a single stage I mean a two stage for competition.
Oh yeah, huh.
Yeah, because I can set up on the wall, and then especially precision competition, I can set up on the wall, and then
Well,
I've
that's
got
true.
much
Okay,
less to
that's fair
plan.
because I don't do
Right.
precision competition, so that might be the difference. I'm trying to get a timed shots on target quicker. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yep.
But
Yep. Yep.
yeah, yeah. I like them both though. I mean, I've got single and 2-stage triggers and a lot of
Yeah.
different
Same.
things. So
Yeah. Same.
let me ask you this: flat or curved? We're not talking women's chest. We're
I
talking triggers
right.
here.
Yeah. Definitely curves in that area. But um, so you know, flat to me, you probably flat. Usually flat.
Yeah.
Flat just has again, especially from a competition setting and stuff. Flat has a lot of advantages. Consistent
Yep.
placement on the trigger, to
Yep.
depending on the style of trigger system that you're talking about and
Yep.
the way the force is applied, it's more evenly that way. You don't have that rocking motion that happens with a curved trigger. So,
Yeah.
um, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's definitely not a deal breaker or anything like that. But
Yeah. No, I
um,
hear you.
probably flat. Yeah.
I would say that for the most of my life in firearms, I enjoyed curved triggers. That's how I learned to shoot, was curved triggers. I will say the last several years, I have really gone in. TM Foss, $5 super chat says Vandalay Industries. So you want to be my latex salesman? That is correct. He knows what my quote is about very well. Very good, sir. Um, but I will say that I have grown to love flat triggers. Not that I disliked them. I learned to shoot with curved triggers. So that's just what I knew, right? As in everything in life, you evolve and all that. I love a flat trigger. I'll tell you what. One of my favorite triggers in the world is Hyperfire triggers. I've got several of them. What I loved about Hyperfire is they've got the flat trigger for the AR, but you can also get like the little boot that goes over the trigger, that it's a curved boot. So you have the best of both worlds. If you want that flat, you can go flat. If you like the curved feel, you get the curved feel with the flat trigger and how it operates and all of that. You're going to get the best of all worlds. But I would say, if you ask me now, I'd probably say I'm leaning towards a flat trigger, where I always probably was a curved trigger before, for sure. Let's see here. Ozzy says, I shot my first flat trigger today. Not a big deal. There you
Yeah.
go.
It's a preference thing. And at the
It
end of the
is.
day,
It's what it
it
is.
doesn't really matter. I mean, a good trigger can be a good trigger without either one of those being a factor.
Mark Jackson, this is a single stage flat trigger. Don't put that on something on a ranged rifle. I'll say that. You can. You need to be pretty careful. But I would say that if you've put a single stage flat trigger on a rifle, and you've done that, then you've probably got enough experience with that. Hopefully, you have enough experience with that rifle that
Yeah,
you will be careful.
it is. I mean,
Um,
it's one of the things to where it's a benefit if you are somebody that's skilled and practiced with that. But
yeah,
it's kind of like the whole adage, when you start putting a lot of extras on stuff and you're trying to
yeah,
um, make up for skill with equipment.
yeah,
That's a bad thing. So if your
yeah,
fundamentals are sound and all of this other stuff, yeah, it's not a big deal going, doing
yeah.
something like that. It's gonna actually help you. That's At that point, that's the only way you're gonna start to improve, is to
Yeah,
Add
pushing
some
yourself a little bit.
add some equipment. Yeah, add some equipment that helps you improve incrementally. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Hour and 10 minutes. I know that we'll see each other here in a few days and all that, but I know that your late season of your podcast has
Heck
started.
yeah.
What you got coming up on the channel and podcast in the next couple of weeks?
Well, the gremlins that attacked us on the first week, are
Yeah,
gone. I
right.
think the second week went off without a hitch. Both shows live, and I'm trying to think, who did we even have?
You had
OST,
Snob.
Operator Survival Tool, and the Gun Snob. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And even changed the where I was at in the studio for that for this
I
last week.
noticed
So
that. I
yeah,
did.
go check those out, and if you want to, they're in replay now. Won't be anything this week because going to be preparing and getting ready, obviously, for TriggerCon. But we'll kick it back off next week. I think we've got. Good Lord, who do we have next week? We've got No Handed Shooter. Let's go look that dude up if you're not familiar with No
I'm
Handed
sorry.
Shooter.
What is it?
No Handed Shooter. I don't want to give much away with
Interesting.
him, but go
Okay.
look him up
All
on
right.
Instagram and YouTube and other places. No Handed Shooter
All right.
and Lock Grips. Blake with Lock Grips is
There you
joining us.
go.
It's been a while
Say hi
since
to
they've been
say
in
hi
the
to
house.
Blake.
So
Haven't seen him since SHOT Show.
yeah, been a while since they've been in the house. So they've got some cool new things working. I think they even got a new warehouse
Were
for
they at
factory.
NRIM? I don't remember seeing them at NRIM, were
Yeah,
they?
they were. Yeah,
Were they?
I
I
believe
just
they
didn't
were.
see him, I guess. I'm pretty sure the
They
last
were.
time I saw him was at SHOT, but I didn't remember seeing them in NRIM. Doesn't mean they weren't. I just didn't see them, so I didn't know if they were there or not.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure they were, but they got product wise, they got some cool stuff they're working on. And like I said,
Yeah.
I don't on either one of these guests. I don't want to give away the farm, but I think when I talked to him the other day, I think he mentioned they were busy moving into a new warehouse or a new facility or something of that
Oh,
nature. So it's like,
nice.
that's going to be an interesting conversation to kind of figure out whether
Well, hopefully
obviously if
that
they're
means that they're doing well, and that means
that's
they
what I'm
need to
saying. If
expand.
they're
You know?
if they're having to expand and get into bigger space or whatever, then hopefully they're doing well. And we like to see the companies that we work with, our friends in the industry, do well. So that's great. Yeah, for sure. And then look for the
Absolutely.
TriggerCon content, of course, coming out. There'll be
Obviously.
minimum probably 5 videos from
Mhm.
TriggerCon that I will get done. So that is a commitment because of the travel sponsor.
That's
But
correct.
I will crank those out, so you'll get a little bit of content anyway from TriggerCon in the coming weeks.
Yep. Yep. Same thing with me. You'll be seeing TriggerCon stuff come out next week, in the next couple of weeks, probably. Um, for sure. Get the podcast Tuesday night. TriggerCon will be joining us. Dave will be joining us from TriggerCon, media guy from there. Then we'll see everybody, and I don't know. You never know. Be on the lookout. You never know when a Ghost and Clover could just pop up randomly. Just saying, you never ever know.
Especially between here and Shot Now and Shot Show, right?
This is true. This is
Yeah,
true. You
yeah.
never know when this something else might just randomly pop up, and we do a Ghost and
More,
Clover.
more on that later. Stand by for the
Yeah,
standby.
stand by for the standby. Stand by. All right, brother. As always, it was fun having this. Thank you to
Oh, by
everybody
the
who
way,
was out. Oh, yep. Yeah, yeah,
before
yeah.
we get
Yeah.
out of here, Mr. Pilot,
Yes,
there,
sir.
Shirley, um, we need somebody in row 17 that can speak jive. If anybody out there knows
Okay.
anybody,
Yes.
we have somebody in aisle 17, and we need somebody that can translate jive for us. So if
We
anybody out
heard
there
that
can do that,
we
we'd
heard that
appreciate it.
Dr. J was back there. Not only does he a doctor, but Dr. J could speak jive back in the day with the Nets.
Probably so.
With the fro he had, I guarantee he could speak jive for sure.
Probably so.
But yeah, we need to speak jive and quit calling me Shirley, damn it. Yeah, no, but thank you guys for especially the ones that were out here. Had a great conversation in the live chat. If you're watching this in replay or listening to this in podcast, go ahead and leave us a comment. Leave us a comment with a topic that you might think, what you thought about the podcast. Tell us to go shove it, whatever you want. Leave a comment. More importantly, we invite you guys to come join the live chat. That's where all the fun happens. And yes, you will obviously get a chance to give us the third topic of the night as well. Thank you to our sponsors, EAA and Taurus. We appreciate both of them. Looking forward to seeing them soon Thank you for everyone that supports myself and Clover, whether it's through Patreon or through YouTube channel memberships or shopping our affiliate links or Amazon or buying swag from our websites. More importantly, just supporting us through just being here and watching our stuff and possibly sharing it with your friends and all that. Any and every way that you guys support us, thank you so much. What we do ask you also is do go support our sponsors. If you're out there and you utilize EAA for guns or Taurus for guns or whatever, or if you don't, just go to their social media and just leave a comment on your social. Thank you for supporting Ghost and Clover. That really does help everything. So yeah, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting everything that we do. We know we put some weird projects out there, don't we, Clove? And why they continue to keep supporting us, I don't understand, but thank you.
Yep.
You got anything before we get out of here?
I said good day.
I said good day. So you want to be my latex salesman?